What's up, everybody? It's the Q Dog. Welcome back to another episode of the BS Podcast. I have no idea what just happened there with the stopping of the music. I can only imagine that nefarious things are afoot by Mr. Joshua Moran. But hey, I can't blame him until he gets on here. But hey, why not go ahead and get it kicked off right here?
One message for you from your aunt. She will bust both of you in the head. Can y'all hear me?
Not rocket science, you know.
I think you, like me, have a face for radio.
Can y'all hear me?
We gonna play with the players we got. Next man up.
That's why it sucks.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
This kind of unprofessionalism does not need to be tolerated. I mean it. Like,
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
what the hell is going on here? Just all hang up.
Another episode of the BS Podcast.
Hang on. Hang on.
Moran.
Hang on. There's all kinds of noise in my ear now.
Oh, jeez.
We need a little bit more professionalism.
POV, you thought you were about to rush the field on Alabama.
Ain't no rushing the field. Goodbye. 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 Ain't no rushing the field tonight. Good game, y'all. Hey, good game, boy. Good game. Hey, y'all lost. Y'all lost. Y'all lost. Happy homecoming. Happy homecoming.
POV,
Happy homecoming. Happy homecoming, ladies and gentlemen. Roll Tide, everybody. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, Alabama gets scheduled for homecoming in South Carolina. And guess what? Ooh, it looked grim there for a minute, but we were able to get some things done. Let me add in my folks, my people, my pals, all the people that love to join in on the BS Podcast. Welcome, everybody. Roll Tide. Wild Bill, what's up tonight? How you doing, bro?
Doing good, Roll Tide. Schedule us homecoming next time.
Quincy,
Oh, it almost, yeah.
what is wrong with the left side of the screen?
It's a new feature that I haven't figured out.
It gives
Just,
you a hide option. It says hide vertical below it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what are we doing? What's the whole point here? What are we doing?
That's the view from a cell phone. That's what people from the cell phone can see.
That's cool.
Well, why do we need to see that?
You don't.
I
That's
mean,
why you hit hide vertical.
Now is actually
hide vertical.
now
Where's
is actually
hide vertical?
it's
it's
right
the most
underneath
appropriate
it.
time for you to bring that up. So thanks for nothing.
There we go.
I think
Like-
we need a little bit more professionalism here.
Yeah,
I do too.
First, I mean, nobody else noticed. There's a whole there's like 10 of us on the screen.
Well, can't
I mean,
nobody
it's
see
not
it but us.
It's
I hit it like a person who can read.
Okay, well, back to
It's
to
not-
what you were saying, Quincy.
yeah. That was a prime reason to interrupt Wild Bill giving his welcome. Why do we have a screen on the side, Josh?
Well, he said nothing.
Maybe
Roll
it-
Tide.
Meet me at the flagpole, 3:00. With that being said, Josh Moran, since you have barged your way in, tell the people who you are, what you do, what's going on.
I am Josh. What's going on is that if you can see below my name is that we beat the Cocks. We beat them good, and we outlasted them. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty good. Roll Tide.
Thank you, Josh, for putting the BS in BS Podcast. Appreciate that. And we do know that your title there is something that you are all too familiar with. But hey, with that being said, Austin, welcome to the program, sir. Talk to the people about who you are and what you do.
I'm Austin, and I'm the most exciting part of this podcast sometimes.
That's a fair point.
I don't know who voted on that. But
I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure if that's accurate at all, but you are entertaining when you show up as Austin Smash.
Thanks.
So let us hope that is you. And Amber Dash, welcome. back to the program this week, fresh off a wedding. How did everything go? And then give us your thoughts on BAMA, South Carolina, just 29-22. Come on.
So this is how Alabama fans that the wedding was that I did. The rehearsal was on Saturday. The wedding was on Sunday. And they rented a projector to put the game up on the wall of the venue for the rehearsal dinner.
Well,
but I left. I was like, I'm watching this by myself because this is Tennessee and I don't know what could go wrong. So,
nothing. That's the answer to that.
I started
Nothing.
watching it and I got really concerned and almost turned it off because they were playing better when I wasn't watching. But we pulled it out. Roll Tide, baby. And
Roll Tide.
That South Carolina game was very stressful. I'm reminded why I prefer to not watch football games with my husband.
Hey, Quincy, I got a question.
I have a question as well. Go ahead first, Josh.
Did you change the coloring of the banners and everything?
Oh my gosh, Josh! Nobody cares.
You've missed so much, you don't know what's going on.
I vote to take it off of black, or we need the background that has to have something on it.
Okay, well, we'll get to that. Here's what my question was. Austin, are you chewing tobacco or are you eating during the program?
I may be eating.
He's chewing tobacco.
You and Josh are really making this program a winner today. I just want to thank you.
Yeah, but at least I'm not interrupting the whole thing to go, how about what is going on with the graphics?
Well, it didn't even start correctly.
But I'm back with my timer since y'all didn't have one last week, and we're about to go massively over if I hadn't start blowing up some text messages.
We ain't worried about your timer. You can take your timer and
I have a new timer. I got a new phone. Roll Tide.
Well, with that being said,
it was not your dad going over.
Oh, I know it was Quincy and Austin. I know.
Okay. In fact, it was. Now, tonight, we're going to have a special guest on the program if he sticks around after hearing us so far, which if he leaves and blocks my number, I will blame him zero. But with that being said,
it's Bill's
with that being said, the first quarter tonight is going to be Wild Bill and his Bama bullet points. And then I'm going to chime in with a very limited version of the stats, if I can find where they disappeared to over here on my screen. And then we're going to have Mr. Allen Dunn for a full half an hour in the second quarter. And then we'll rock and roll into the third quarter. And then here's what I want to know. It's a bye week, so the fourth quarter may be pretty limited.
And the third quarter.
With that being said,
I have plenty to talk about that doesn't have to do with Coach DeBoer. So,
well, that's great to know. What I want to know is, do you want to know now
yes,
who the winner of predictions is? Give me a vote.
Yes.
Go for it.
I know for sure it's not me. If it's Amber again, I
don't think it's me because I went back and looked at mine and I wasn't.
Tell it.
Me and Josh guessed the same score, didn't we?
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't even remember.
If Amber wins, I'm starting my own podcast called the Horrible Prediction Podcast.
The only way a podcast with you in it can get any worse is if you start a new one by yourself.
Whoa!
I don't know. There'd be no interruptions asking about graphics or views.
All right. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to announce, I did last week, last to first. And so in last place this week, the total score was 51 points, and I added it 3 times just to make sure. In last place, Austin Dash.
I did not see that coming.
When did we start using a total score?
I don't know.
I have no idea what Quincy's doing here.
Quincy made up his own rules.
We used to see who was closest to the score. Now he's just adding stuff up.
That is not true.
I thought we were going by the score.
Yeah, I thought you took.
We were going by the score too.
That's why Amber keeps winning. He changed the rules.
He did change the rules. I don't even know how that's possible.
For me.
Last year, we voted, and we were doing total score. Who had the closest?
No, and I'll tell you this. Why would we do total score when someone could guess 14-27 Bama, and then Bama could win 27-14, get the score completely wrong, but win because they got the total score right.
Okay, then what
That
was
don't even make
what
no
was
damn sense.
Okay, tell me then what do we used to do?
I thought we were seeing who was closest to each number.
That's what I thought we've been doing this whole time.
And then you add it up.
You picked 37 to 14 and the scores 34 to 10. Well, okay, so you were 3 away from Bama's and 4 away from the visitor score.
That's
so
what I thought we've been doing this whole time. That's how much attention I pay to this.
We're
No. Let's not lose sight of
gerrymandering this thing.
This
This
is
is why
the rules. It didn't tell nobody.
I mean, I've still gotten the scores right.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know.
Yes.
Okay,
I have, sir.
Hey, if that's what you guys say, I stand corrected and I apologize because apparently
whole system is against
I've got
me.
it wrong.
This whole thing has been a crock of crap from inception.
I'll have to.
Is this the SEC officiating office?
Yeah, I mean,
making up things as they go and people not getting suspended when they should. What is happening here?
So
Bill is
do you want me-
and Bill is Arkansas. He just don't care. He don't care. He don't
do you
care. It don't matter.
Arkansas
anyway.
let me
Bill,
down on
Bill,
Saturday.
You are now forced to spend 3 hours straight with Aunt Cindy.
Hey, okay, let me ask you this.
Now, that's a little too much.
I can go back. I can go back and look based on what you just told me. It is my mistake. If what you guys say is true, I accept responsibility for my mistake. I thought it was added together. And
Let's
see.
overturn all the results.
You better find a time
Hey, guess what? Guess
you.
what? At least 2 of my 3, I'm still going to have won them because I was almost on the nose on the numbers. So
I'm about
go
to be
on
like,
somewhere.
No, I'm about to be like Biden. They about to pull me out a bunch of votes.
All right. Let's reel it back in real quick. So just start with today. How about who do the score? Who had scores? What were the scores?
I'll have to do that later because I don't have the time now.
Just tell us what is our scores.
Okay, here's the scores. Amber and Josh had the same score, 34-17. Austin had 48-14, while Bill 40-15. And then Quincy Moran gave you the rundown on what it was supposed to be, and it turned out to be 42-10. For my score, it was 29-22.
You and Uncle Bill are done. Okay, so Uncle Bill's is
wait.
what?
So does that mean me and Josh won?
Just hang on, Amber. We're going to process elimination this right here. Uncle Bill was 45 to what?
He lost.
45-10.
He's out. What was yours?
42-10.
Me and Amber was the same thing. What was it?
Wait.
34-17.
34-17. Austin was what?
Oh, excuse me. Okay, we're getting into Wild Bill's Bama bullet points. I'm going to figure out the score.
I don't trust you to do it at this point.
Hold on. Wild Bill is trying to speak.
I hadn't predicted Alabama to score 40 points this year. So
Quincy, you are screwing everything up.
I have a bunch of times because I'm stupid.
Well,
I'll go back to the tape. I'll go back to the tape for you, Wild Bill.
You do that.
Okay. Well, for now, we're going to Wild Bill's Bama bullet points. All right, Wild Bill. I don't know where everybody went, so we're going to have to do it on this. There we go. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bring me back. Bring me back to the
Bush League.
Bring me back to the other view. All right, Wild Bill, go ahead with your Bama bullet points. We'll try to get this thing situated.
Okay, and if y'all believe it, Quincy's going to do an abbreviated version of the stats. It's snowing in Miami, Florida today.
Hey, bring it on. Bring on the snow, baby.
All right. Bama had 72 yards rushing on 23 attempts. Bama's defense gave up 111 yards rushing. The quarterback had 67. Bama was 8 of 16 on third down. South Carolina 6 of 17. Bama held South Carolina to 6 points in the first half. Bama scored 1 touchdown on its first 9 drives.
Oh my.
Bama offense went 3 straight possessions, 3 and out. Bama with a 14-play, 79-yard touchdown drive and converted a 2-point try to tie the game. South Carolina had 322 yards offense. The last 2 doesn't have anything to do with the ball game, but the buyout for 9 fired football coaches, $169 million, 35-25. My Green Bay Packers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go Pats. That's it for the bullet points.
All right, let's bring the crew on and just talk about this a little bit. And Wild Bill, tell me again.
I love that the BS podcast logo is over Josh's face. Just leave it right there. That's perfect.
Oh my God.
If you didn't bring that to his attention, he might not have known. Wild Bill.
Yeah.
What is happening? Turn the sound of my mind
Look,
off.
Y'all gonna run Alan Dunn off before he ever gets on here.
Hey, it ain't us.
I
your
hope he's very
nephew.
entertained by your family.
It's your nephew.
Alan, when you get on here, I don't know none of these folks.
Hey, I'm blood to you. Try again.
When I'm adopted into this madness.
Wild Bill, out of the Bama the bullet points, what do you think? Like, talk me through just briefly what stands out to you the most, knowing that we came away with the win.
That we had 1 touchdown on our first 9 drives.
Yeah,
Offense. I don't know what the deal was, but I was listening to a podcast earlier. We have got to start being able to run the football. We got to. And I mean, I thought we did pretty good on holding Norris to just 67 yards rushing. I don't know what he had against us last year, but he ate us up last year. But we held them to 6 points in the first half, so I thought that was pretty good. But the one touchdown on our first 9 drives, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, I agree. And I was, admittedly, I was incredibly distracted by some additional noises coming through while you were doing your Bama bullet points, but I don't recall.
Stop.
I thought it was all in my head.
I don't recall if you had anything in about that punt that
I was waiting. From what I've understood and from what a former official has said, it should have been a 15-yard penalty on South Carolina from the point of the infraction. But it wasn't called, so I wonder, is the SEC office sending us a letter of apology for them nearly costing us the ball game?
Probably not.
I would
I want to
also.
point something out.
Austin called that as soon as it happened. He was throwing a toddler temper tantrum in our living room. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. So I'm just trying to figure out why Austin isn't making us a whole kind of living being an SEC official. Because
I don't want to be a referee.
Then who's doing it right now?
I want to say something.
Go ahead, Josh.
So I just want to point out the stark difference in our team and little brother. So that happened in a big part of the game. If that was Auburn, they would have just complained about it the rest of the game, lost the game, and been complaining about it now. We won the game, so I could care what got missed.
Well, but why were the announcers not making a big deal out of it like they do during the Auburn game?
I have no idea. I just don't think they knew.
I have a reason.
Jesse Palmer's a dweeb that always just
Dude,
on
he
Bama,
gets on my nerves like Greg McElroy does. I just do not want to hear either one of them humans talk ever.
Well, too bad. He's
you go out
calling
you go out with 35 women at one time and you can't find one that likes you. It's an issue.
Well, that may be true, but I believe if my man McElroy was on the broadcast, that he would have pointed out that obviously would have been a penalty.
Sure, Quincy.
That's what
Sure.
I believe.
Hit it. Yeah, he'd have said that was a penalty on us.
Come on.
We'll see what he says next week when we play LSU.
Okay, well, I know that's some of the stuff we'll probably Josh, I'm gonna run you off in a minute, dude. You gotta cut that crap out. With that, how can you, if you're Coach DeBoer and you look and you're talking to Coach Grubb, against the across the table, and you're saying, okay, Coach, we started the second half last week and we just did nothing. We came out, this week flat. What are your words, Josh, to your offensive coordinator and his coaching staff to make something different happen? Because how does that happen?
You talking about our team?
Yeah, I'm talking about our team.
I mean, we're on the road. We're going up against 2 NFL pass rushers. We're going into a bye week after a gauntlet, winning 4 tough games. We struggled, and I kind of figured it was going to happen. Shane Beamer got the whole team, healthy before the BAMA game, and his job is starting to come on the line as well. So I figured he was just gearing up and trying to throw everything at BAMA. And at the end of the day, sure, we struggled on offense, but we needed to get 2 touchdowns to win the game, and we got 2 touchdowns to win the game.
And a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing, as a matter of fact. And that's in the things that we talked about while the game was going on. If we were able to pull it off, one of the things was, hey, we see a different level of resiliency in this football team that we did not see last year and potentially the year prior to that. And then the other thing is the coaches can still utilize this kind of performance, I think, as leverage to the team to encourage them to continue to get better. And I do agree that the bye week came at the right time. All right, Wild Bill, let's take a quick minute here and look at the stats. We'll go to the team stats first. And let's just take a look here at that worked out well. Alabama, 325 total yards compared to the Gamecocks, 333. Both teams have 2 turnovers. First downs, Alabama 17 compared to 18 by the Gamecocks. The Tide had 6 penalties for 52 yards versus 5 penalties for 40 yards. Third down, 8 of 16 for the Tide, 6 of 17 for South Carolina. Fourth down, 2 of 3. Hey, we love those 2, huh? Compared to 2 for 2. South Carolina. And then the time of possession, like Austin and I talked about on the instant reaction show, and I believe Josh and I were talking about it too. At one point, I believe the time of possession was right around 30 minutes, 30 to 18, I think it was. It was incredibly lopsided.
Yeah,
Alabama's
it was right before we came back and won.
Alabama's defense, man. If you started this season, when we started this season, all the challenges we had with the team coming back the way that it did, man, I did not think that our defense was going to be who they are. And, I saw some kind of graphic about Kane Womack, and I got to say that this guy is coaching. He's coaching this team up. Very proud of the defense. We can look at the leaders now. Ty Simpson, 253 yards, 24 of 43 for 2 touchdowns. And we know, I did not go back and look, but there were a significant number of drop passes, some that were crucial. But we came back and we just continued to grind, which I'm very proud. And I think you're right, Josh. Had this been, the guys down south, they probably would have quit. They're looking for someone to blame for losing instead of looking for ways and reasons to win. Our leading rushers, Jam Miller, 26 yards on 10 carries. Sellers, of course, for them, he had a really big run, but he had 18 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown. Receiving yards, it's odd that our leading receiver was a running back, but man, Wild Bill, what do you think of Brother Hill? 4 receptions, 76 yards. That guy is starting to emerge as a front running back, no pun intended. What do you think about him?
He's tough. He's coming on, You know, they talked on one of the podcasts last week that he was finally healthy, whatever had been wrong with him. He got injured in fall practice, and he was just now coming into his own. So looks like him and Jam's going to be our two running backs.
Yeah.
Unless one of them gets hurt. But we got the block up front, get the running game going.
Yeah, we do. Their leading rusher, leading receiver, Harbor at 54 yards, 1 reception. I think that's the guy who's 6'100" and made that great catch.
Yeah,
sacks, Keeley with 1, and then on their side, Thomas with 1, and then tackles. Braylon Hubbard, man, that guy is a machine, dude. 8 tackles, 2 solo. Compared to Williams on the other side, 6 tackles, 6 solo tackles. And there is a limited version of your stats. I didn't even tell you who the stats were brought to you by, but that's okay because here we are, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, the time of possession, man, had me seriously worried. But I thought in the first half, Austin, that our defense was on the field way too much, it felt like, and they looked like they were starting to get gassed. And we started bringing different defensive linemen in. I think even some linebackers. But I want to, before we go to the second quarter in this special episode, I want to talk to Wild Bill a minute about a guy that we argued about last week. Okay? I don't.
Tim Keenan. Come on, one game he shows up. Whoop-dee-doo.
One game? He's been showing up game after game.
Get out of here.
Saved the game.
Hey, and he didn't even know he was wallering on the ball.
Yeah, so there you
He
have
thought it
it.
was his belly button.
Well, if you hear the coaching staff talk, Deontay Lawson is coming along more and more each week. He's getting healthier because, he's on the bounce back program. And I think he looks faster and more physical than I've seen him, period, at all his 125 years at the University of Alabama. So I'm proud of him. And that fumble, dude, I did a dance, legitimately did a dance when that fumble came on, or when the ball came out. And then, like you say, Austin, Tim Keenan, he had no idea that.
Well, we're glad he didn't get
I-
up and out of that.
I saw a tweet this woman posted, Deontay Lawson to Tim Keenan. Hey, man, you on the ball.
It was a great save, dude. Great save. And then Alabama takes it and turns it in. Now, the other thing, just briefly, before we get to the second quarter, did anybody else look at some of those videos on X or Instagram, etc., about the clock? Anybody else see it? Because I was screaming about the clock.
About how it wasn't stopping after first down.
I mean, I've seen multiple people posting about it, but I haven't seen like a resolve on it. Like,
yeah, I just wondered if y'all had seen anything about it. So
stop after every first down, but.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the first quarter. Wild Bill's Bama Bullet Points and a modified version of the stats, brought to you by JoshMoran.com. I mean, should everything be brought to you by JoshMoran.com?
No.
If you agree with me, there you go. JoshMoran.com. High quality crap. And I'm telling you, he's selling a mint of it today. Just go to IamJoshMoran.com to pick up all your Josh Moran gear.
I have a question. Why do you have such an issue with these?
because it's messing with my head.
It's a soundboard. That's all it is. Like you learn how to learn how to say something that's really cool, Quincy.
I live too close to Memphis for you to be making those sirens go off.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I say go Auburn.
No, I've got a video of you saying
Auburn.
Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. That's the closest thing I'll ever say to it. Wiggle,
okay.
wiggle.
Well, it's time now for us to
That's the last one I'm doing. That's it.
That's Brian Kelly yelling at his offensive coordinator last week.
Okay, Austin. The smash is in the house.
That's the last.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the second quarter. And the second quarter is brought to you by Man vs. Marriage, the podcast. Do you want to be a better husband? Do you want to be a better lover? Come on over to Man versus Marriage, the podcast where you can find out how to change your life, strengthen your marriage, and affect culture in a positive way by being the best version of the man you were created to be.
Even
And
you,
with that
Brian
said,
Kelly.
hey, we'll take everybody. Well, that's if you're an Auburn fan, there's going to be challenges, but that's okay. Come on over and let's try it out. But with that being said, let's get ready for our special guest, Mr. Alan Dunn.
Guys,
Welcome to the program, sir. And I don't know where to start because it's been absolutely terrifying thus far. But hey, thanks for sticking in the green room, and thank you so much for being here.
hey, listen, I'm sitting here and quite enlightened by this whole thing. I have learned a lot of information that I didn't know. So this is awesome. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. And just to let everybody know, I did tell him, I forewarned him during our discussion last week that it's called the BS podcast for a reason. There's a whole lot of BS going on, but you know what? We're thrilled to have you. And I got to tell you, I'm very excited to have that conversation with you, to learn more about your journey. And I would love to have you talk to us, just inform our audience, talk to even the folks that are on the show with us here, and just give us a synopsis of where you've been in this world. Introduce yourself formally, and then tell us about who you are and what you do.
Well, I'll try to make it as quick as possible, but with this being the BS of Bama sports, I did play baseball at the University of Alabama from 1981 to 83. And that was the team that we went to the College World Series in 83. Finished runner up. Texas beat us in the final game. Roger Clemens was at Texas. And then we had a hitter for us, Dave Magadan, who went on to have a phenomenal big league career. And that year, Mags hit 525, which I think is still a record that I do not think will be broken. And so that whole series, there were a lot of really good players in Omaha in that year. Barry Bonds was at Arizona State. So just a phenomenal World Series. And we did finish second. So after that, I was drafted by the Tigers, Detroit Tigers. Played as high as AA till arm injuries kind of ended my career. And then I went back to get my degree from UAB and actually went into coaching. I went to Vanderbilt University, spent 2 years at Vanderbilt, and then I got back in the pro game. And for the next 15 years, I was coaching in the minor league system for the Chicago Cubs organization. And then I left there and went over to the major league staff for the Baltimore Orioles to become the bullpen coach. And I did that in 2007. And I stayed there until 2010. And that's when Buck Showalter became the manager of the Orioles in August of 2010. And, a lot of times when a manager comes in, there's a lot of change that happens. And so our staff was one of those. So I went back to the minor leagues with the Orioles, and I was the pitching coordinator for the Orioles until 2011. I went to LSU and coached at LSU from 2011 till 21. And that was the year that Coach Maneri, who was the head coach, he retired, and he has since come out of retirement, and he's actually at South Carolina. But he did retire. So I ended up going to Arkansas State for 2 years as the pitching coach there. And after the 23 season, I retired. My wife and I moved back to Alabama. We live in Hoover. And that has kind of been, the journey of the career and coaching, and now in this next journey of life, and it has been very blessed and very thankful for the opportunities that I've had.
That is excellent, and I will open it up on the floor, in just a minute for, our team to talk to you and maybe ask you a question or two. But talk to us what you do. Talk to us about what you do now, and some of the color commentary experiences that you've had.
Yeah, so when we moved here in 23, I started thinking about, hey, what's the next step look like? And I still love the game. I mean, I watch it. I love to talk about it, and it's one of those things. It's in your blood, and so I had an opportunity to do some games in the 20. Let's see, it would have been the 24 season. I did some commentating for UAB. Did some Birmingham Barons radio in the summer. And so that led to last season. I did a lot of games for Alabama, the baseball program there. And then I did a couple for Auburn and UAB. And so that's kind of what has led me to where I am now. And looking forward to the 26th season, and doing some Alabama games. And it's been a great way to stay involved in the game. But I'll tell you what I've told people is it's one of those things that you show up, you talk about the game, you give your opinions, and try to give as much clarity to the game as you can. But you know what? When that game's over, I get in the car and I go home, and I'm not worried about that ninth inning blown save. So
That's right. That's right.
so it's been a good transition to be able to stay in the game in this capacity. And I love Alabama. I love Alabama baseball. I think they're doing a phenomenal job down there. Coach Vaughn and his staff, they're just I really like those guys. I think they've got the program really going in a great direction. If you look at what they did last year, I mean, they were 41-18. They were 16-14 in the conference. They went to a regional. They lost out, to Southern Miss in the regional, but they had a really solid year. I know they're going to build on that as the 26th season. You look at some of the things that I've been reading. I have not seen them in the fall. My plans are to go down early in the preseason once they start practicing. Once January hits, and kind of get a good idea of what they're looking like. But just looking at their roster and knowing who they had coming back from last year's team, they've got a couple of players. One, I guess everyone knows, is the Justin LeBron kid, he's a big leaguer. I mean, you look at what he's done 2 years, and you just look at his ceiling is this is going to be a really good player. And I know the scouts are drooling over getting him in the draft, in the 26th draft. If you look at publications, there's a lot of different ideas of where he may or may not go, but I think he's going to be, a first rounder for sure. How high, who knows? But he's got all the intangibles, the tool set, and he's surrounded by a lot of good players that were on that team last year that are coming back. Bryce Fowler, Jason Torres, Will Platner. So those are just some names that from last year's team that had really good year. So you combine that with, they had a great recruiting class, a lot of freshman players. I think the staff loves, and then you combine that with the portal, and with last year's team. So it's the makings, I think, for a program that's going to be right there in the hunt as they go into to trying to battle this SEC, man, which is it's no joke. As we talk about football and basketball and women's basketball, I mean, it's every sport. Is you better bring your A game or you're gonna get your feelings hurt. And so I think that they're in for a really good year.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think there's with sadly some controversy that happened, and for us to get a new coach, I wouldn't expect that we'd be able to be that competitive and perform the way that we did in, that short amount of time. So kudos to Coach and, what he's doing out there. A question for you, when you're up there, commentating, how is it, just from my elementary mind, how do you tell so quickly what pitch was just thrown? Because it seems like that just happens so quickly these days. Like if it's a slider or 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball, change up, how do you do that?
Well, a lot of times going in your prep work, you look at a pitcher, for instance, and you know what his arsenal is going to be. Hey, he's a 4-pitch guy, that he's going to run a 4-seam fastball, and he's going to have a slider and a curveball and a changeup. So going in what his skill set is. But then, and you're going to know kind of what the velocities are going to be on those particular pitches. And then you look at the situation and, what pitch might be called in this situation. And then you can actually see, with your eyes, kind of if it's a breaking ball, you kind of see where the ball ends up. And, it's a little bit harder probably to call a 2-seamer or a 4-seamer, a sinker or a 4-seam fastball. But we do have monitors, in the booth that you're getting a really good picture of what's going on. And so, yeah, it's, and then, and to be quite honest with you, I've had my share of saying, hey, it was this and it was that. So, 'cause we don't get them all right. So.
Well, two things before I turn it over to the group. We have a Baltimore Orioles fan in by the name of Toby, who says Sugar Bowl, Miami versus Bama. And then the next thing is number 10, Vanderbilt, number 7, Miami, Florida, and number 2, Alabama. Now, I don't know exactly what that means. Hopefully it means something to you, but he's coming to us via YouTube. Toby, thanks for watching. Shout out to you. And I just want to make sure that you were able to hear and see those comments.
Okay. Not sure, to be honest with you. Unless the Sugar Bowl, I'm assuming that might have been was he talking about the Alabama and the Miami Sugar Bowl? Was that the year that Alabama beat Miami? I don't know.
I believe it was. That's when George Teague stole the football, right?
Wasn't that
Iconic time?
Wasn't that the game that Miami came in the fatigues and
we whooped the crap out of Gino Torretta? That is the.
I think that's right. I think
Toby accidentally came across the stream and was like, "Oh, Bama!" I remember that.
Well, hey, Toby, thanks for commenting. I love it.
Thanks, Toby.
Every Monday.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toby. One last thing, and then I'll turn it over to Wild Bill, see if he has any questions for you, and we'll go through the group. But
Wild Bill,
how entertaining is it, as a former player at the level you played at, how entertaining is it to get these guys mic'd up on the field, whether it's the college ball or out in the pros, and get to or hear them have the conversation with the guys in the booth as the game is going on? How do you like that?
I hate it. I hate
it. To be honest with you, I guess it's a little bit from the old school mindset of playing the game. First of all, I don't know how those guys do it. I mean, the intensity that you need to play the game at that level is mind-boggling in the first place. But to be able to carry on a conversation when you're at shortstop, the position on the field that runs really everything other than the catcher. You look at the shortstop, and he's able to have a conversation and be able to get his reads on pitches and momentum and quick jumps and things. It blows my mind. I am not the biggest fan of this, to be honest. I just think it's.
I concur.
It's the game. But listen, we're in the entertainment business as in athletics. and it seems to be the thing that is driving these sports. And people like to feel like, they're in the action and they're right there with what's going on. So I'm gonna give kudos to the players for first willing to do it, two, to be able to do it, but not the biggest fan of it, to be honest.
I appreciate the honesty. I'm on the other side, and if you never talk to me again, I understand. But I got to say, when Clayton Kershaw was on the mound, and he's mic'd up and he's talking through what he's doing and what his thoughts are, man, I just loved it. I loved it. And like you say, I've seen some outfielders do it. I've seen a shortstop do it, and I was mesmerized myself. Where he's like, "Oh, hold on a second, pop, pop." Gets the ball and throws him out at first base. I'm like, how in the world are these guys doing this? And I don't know what their take on it.
It's crazy, man. I mean, just to play at that level. I think one of the things that has been wonderful for sports, I'll just say baseball, is one, the amount of games that we're able to see now. Back many years ago, you only had one game that was on Saturday, game of the week. And, usually the Red Sox and Yankees or the Dodgers and the Reds or someone like that. So, it wasn't being oversaturated with the way it is now. So, with the number of games and just the opportunity for people to really engage in the game and what it's done, obviously it's the revenues are just on the other, just crazy of what it's bringing in. So I think when you can engage fans, and obviously it's a thing that is helping to be able to do these things that the average fan is tuning in. So I think anything that's going to help, grow the game, I think is great. But that I'm wondering this on this question that you asked is, are they going to do it in the World Series? I have not seen it yet. I don't know. I would think that might, I don't know, cross the line maybe. I mean, during hey, you're playing 162 games, and every game, you can't bring that intensity. Or I say it's very hard. That's why these players, Aaron Judge and Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani and these guys that are doing the things that they're doing through the course of 162 games, it is unbelievable because they're able to stay in that zone for 162 games at the highest level. And
That's right.
I tell you, it's amazing. But so maybe during the season when you're in a Tuesday night game and it's the third inning and hey, we're going to let a guy get on the mic and talk about what he's thinking. Okay, still not a huge fan, but I can see the benefits.
Yeah, and I what I love about you and just knowing you for a short time is your integrity. You could just answer, the politically correct thing and say, "Oh, I love it," but to have the integrity to say, "I'm not a big fan. It's cool, but I'm not a big fan." And I wonder too, do the players even like it? We'll save that for another day. But I'll turn it over now to Wild Bill. Wild Bill, you got any questions for your man Alan here?
I'll talk to him last. Josh said he's got some questions.
I've got one question for him.
Okay.
All right, I'll go next.
Okay.
I have no questions because somehow being related to Bill Smith, I don't like baseball.
Wow.
I don't know how that happened. I don't know how I don't know anything about baseball. I've just heard my dad talk about you. Great things. That's all I know.
I appreciate that, but that's okay if you don't. There's a lot of people that it's not their cup of tea, but that's okay. So
I think we should oust her from the podcast.
Do it. Just do it. Yeah. It's fine.
Well, let's go ahead and get Austin's question in there.
That has to do with my question. Why don't you have better friends? because Bill is a shady character.
Well, hey, listen, from what I hear when Bill that I have met through my dad through the years here, and from what I understand, we're supposedly like brothers from what I understand. So
I am Alan's oldest brother.
There we go.
hey, let's make sure we specify that
Yeah.
oldest brother, okay?
Yeah. His dad and my dad went to school together, and so when my dad passed away in April of 17, Ralph said, "Okay, son, since your dad's gone, I'll step in and be your dad now."
Oh, how cool.
But it's a sad situation because I have to correct my dad now because he can't keep his mouth shut about something. Hey, and Alan can testify to this. I have slapped Dad's hand for saying things he shouldn't say.
Yes, you have. So you're.
I'm
That's
not
excellent.
surprised
That's
by that at all, Dad. I'm really not.
Alrighty, Josh. The floor is yours, buddy.
Yeah, I had a few baseball questions since we're talking baseball. I wanted to know, what do you think of the run that Shohei Ohtani's on, and do you think that who you think is going to win the World Series, and can you make the argument if Shohei might be the best player ever?
Let's go with who I think is going to win the World Series. Going into it, after I saw the Dodgers make that run against the Brewers, and their pitching was just out of this world with their starters. I thought going in, I said it's going to be a Dodgers. Didn't think it was going to be, a hey, we're going to go in and take 4 from Blue Jays and call it a night. So that being said, I still feel like it's going to be the Dodgers. They're going to win. I think it's going to go. I'm going to say 6 games, and I'm going to pick the Dodgers at the end. Even though I will say this, my allegiance is to the Blue Jays, okay? Because the starting pitcher in the second game was Kevin Gosman, and I actually had him. He was a pitcher of mine at LSU. So I kind of have a soft spot for the Blue Jays, or more so for him. And I would love to see them win it so he could get a ring on his finger. Go ahead.
I have to disagree with you. I would like for the Dodgers to.
Hey, we can agree. We can agree to disagree, right? So,
Hey, that's what I do with my wife all the time.
Hey,
and as far as Shohei Ohtani being the greatest of all time, I think it is obviously. I'm not making a great statement here, but it is trending. But just because the things that he is doing, you can be a phenomenal outfielder, hitter. Okay. You can be a phenomenal pitcher, maybe not the greatest of all time. But when you combine those things and what he's doing at the level, at the consistent, I mean, the guy's in line to win his 3rd MVP in a row. It's things that obviously the sport has not seen since Babe Ruth did it, and Babe Ruth did it as a pitcher only. Then I think his last year he became a hitter pitcher, and then he put the glove down and just became a hitter only. And Shohei, if he continues to do this run of pitching and hitting and the things that he does, I think he'll go down as the best of all time. That's
where I'm
especially
at.
in today's era of baseball.
Longevity, right? Yeah. So
Yes. Yeah, that's going to be a key, obviously.
So the other question I had, and I got one about Bama, but we'll see. I'll try to go quick. So I heard there's going to be a new strike zone rule next year in baseball where you can challenge strikes.
Yes.
I was wanting you to elaborate on that. Maybe.
Okay. I think the actual it's called the ABS system. I think automatic balls and strikes. And what it's going to be is they have an option. I think it's 2 challenges through the course of a game, and the only people that can challenge is the hitter, the catcher, let's see, the hitter, the catcher, and the pitcher. That's the only three that can challenge. And so what it is, the umpires are making the calls, but as it goes through this system, they're going to be able to determine whether it was a strike or ball. And if a pitcher, let's say it's the ninth inning, bases drunk, you got a 3-2 count on a hitter, and you throw that borderline pitch, and we've all seen it happen. Oh, that's a ball, that's a strike, and they have a challenge. You can call that, and let's say that was called a ball, and they go back and view it, and it's a strike. Inning over, game continues. So they're gonna have to pick and choose their times. So it's not going to be like it's every pitch and all of that. It's just going to be that the timing of when you use it and how you use it. And so you really, I think teams are going to put a lot of emphasis on the catcher, because when you really look back and say who has the best view, who knows the strike zone better, because I'll tell you, being a former pitcher, I don't think I ever threw a ball. Okay, but but all you have to do is look at my stats, and that'll tell you differently. But so I think they're going to leave it up to the catchers a lot, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I've seen it work. I've actually been to a minor league game where it was in. It's been in the minor leagues for a couple of years now, and I saw how it worked. And I'll tell you, that is one thing I'm a fan of, because if you use it at the right time, it can. I mean, it happened to the Padres in the NLCS series on a 3-2 call. That scenario I played out, it happened, and it was a ball, and they didn't have the system, and ended up being a punch out, game over, and now you're eliminated. So that's kind of what that system's about.
Oh, I appreciate it, because the reason I asked is because it's kind of a muddy water here, because every umpire has their own strike zone.
Yeah.
So I wonder how that's going to work. You're used to a strike zone the whole game, and then you see something that's out of the strike zone that he calls a ball, or vice versa. So it'll be hard to.
And I will say this about major league umpires. We can talk about umpires, referees, officials. I mean, obviously, I think as I've learned through my years of being in athletics, when I'm at home and I'm on the couch, I don't think I've ever missed a call. I mean, when I'm at home. So
We got that little square though, and the little.
So, but really, those big league umpires behind the plate, they are really, really good. And their numbers because, they've got this new system, this TrackMan system that has been in operation for several years now. And they're being graded, game in and game out. And, if they're missing too many calls, they're going to get reprimanded. And eventually, it's hard for an umpire to lose his job. But they take away opportunities to umpire in a World Series or in a championship series if you're not ranked as one of the top, the top guys. So I don't think there's going to be as many misses that people think there are, because they're really good at what they do.
Yeah, I thought so. I got one final question. You don't have to talk a lot on it, but I just hope in 10 years they don't phase the umps out, because that's part of baseball, and I like the mistakes. I like the interactions. It's
then who are they going to argue with at home?
I don't want a computer to call balls and strikes.
No,
There's going to be a human element.
No.
So
absolutely, I am 100% on that. That's not what it's intended to be. The game has been that for 100 years, or ever how long it's in existence, and let's human error is part of it, but there's times when, just like this instant replay, I think it has its benefits. So, I've kind of, I guess, adapted to that part, and I do see how it can be beneficial.
And the last thing, where does Alabama stack up with NIL as far as spending for baseball? And that's the last question.
I don't know the actual numbers. I would think that it is not at the level of, some of your, the programs that are
See
considered.
LSU.
Yeah, they're just, it's not there. I don't think. I think they're probably trying to up it somewhat, and I'm gonna tell you, that's just to backtrack on that. Just talking about Justin LeBron, who is, we talk about him. He is going to be
Phenomenal.
the face. That kid he probably could have gone anywhere he wanted in the country, probably
Yeah.
for as much money as he wanted. And I actually I saw an interview on him today talking about that. And he said he had unfinished business at Alabama. His character is he's loyal, and he wants to see Alabama baseball get to that next level. And
Wow.
hey, listen, he even made me a much more fan of his
We
as a
used to
character.
be there at the end all the time, like in the World Series, and just making deep runs. And I got back into it last year watching LeBron play, and he's going to be a superstar. So
He's a really good player, and they
yeah,
have a lot around him too. But
yep.
he's the face of the team, and but for him to shun getting rich right away, and I remember an old scout said one time that because the money became so big, especially for young kids coming out of high school, and they wanted to take that big money right away, and the scout said, listen, a prospect gets paid once, a big leaguer gets paid for a lifetime. So,
Exactly.
That's a
Yeah.
good word.
wherever you can develop your talents, wherever you can get your skill set at the highest level, and all of that, you're putting yourself in a position to have a career, not a one-time payment.
Well, roll
That
tide.
is,
Thank you.
yeah, that is such a wise words. Great questions
Yeah,
from
I
you,
appreciate
Josh.
those.
This is with this we look to take the podcast on because we do very much enjoy basketball, very much enjoy softball and Alabama baseball as well. So we're looking to kind of push this podcast on, as the sports continue after football. But with that being said, being that we are in football season, I wonder, as an alumni, as a former athlete from the University of Alabama, what are your thoughts on the game if you had the opportunity to watch it on Saturday night with Alabama, South Carolina?
Well, I'm gonna have to be honest with you. I didn't get to watch because we had a memorial service. We had a family member that passed away, so we had a memorial service on the day. So I did not get to watch the game. However, I did get to listen to the last 2 minutes on the radio as we left.
Wow.
Nice.
So I kind of got the best part, I guess.
Yep.
I wish I
and-
would have listened to the last 2 minutes on the radio.
Yeah. But listening to you guys rehash, talk about all the things, and talking about the good and the bad, and and listen, maybe it's the coach in me, but at the end of the day, as I look up, and it's that win or loss. And listen, we know you got to play at a very high level week in and week out in this SEC. And you know that your mistakes, if you continue to make those same mistakes week in and week out, you're going to look up and you're going to be, you're going to be in that 4-5, or whatever the record might be. So to get out of there with a win, and to be able to do it, and maybe not the way that we all as fans want to see. I just always remember it is hard to win games. It's hard to win any athletic event in college,
That's right.
high school. It's hard to win. So for them to be able to find a way to get it done, to battle, to keep grinding. One of you guys used that word. I love that word. Just grind it out. Figure out a way. It doesn't have to be the best looking, but at the end of the day, let's get out of here with a win. Figure out what we need to do better and get ready for the rest of the season. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Yep, definitely wise words. And your coaching career has taken you to the highest level possible. So Man, what a great time. And Josh, thanks for saying I'm a horrible person for asking that question. I did not know that he was attending a memorial service. So
Hey, look,
I mean, yeah,
no worries, no worries, man.
I think he needs to feel shame, honestly, because it was
my Lord.
rude. It's rude.
Oh,
I guess
my Lord.
I could do a little better pre-work, but hey, I'm ever getting better, ever evolving.
You see, Alan, that's why I said that, because now he's going to think about it for the next week.
Now you've done something, Josh.
Hey, listen, it was, but I'm just glad I got here, and because I haven't, been able to watch it or anything, and just been getting bits and pieces, and you guys fill me in on all the stats, who did well, who didn't do well.
I warned him. I warned him.
I am 100% with you. I just can't understand why Alabama can't have a running game. That's been our MO for 100 years, and I don't understand why we're not doing that.
Yeah, I do not disagree with you in this particular era and in the run that we're on, no pun intended. We just generally we can take what the defense gives us, but man, nothing was working on Saturday, but it did work at the right time. So
there you go,
man. Alan, you did a great job, man.
You gonna let me talk to him?
I thought you had your moment.
He said he was going to ask last.
Okay, go ahead, Wild Bill. You're up.
Alan, see, I warned you. We got some Romneys on here.
Hey.
A host, especially.
That's right, baby. Come
on. No, listen, guys. Alan is one of the nicest, most generous guys that you'd ever meet in your life. I've only met him at the golf course. And y'all don't hold this against him.
I have a question. When Wild Bill's done, I have one. One when Wild Bill's done.
When he was
oh my God,
coaching at LSU, his dad would say, "Hey, Alan will get you a hat. Alan will get you a jacket, whatever you want. Alan will get it for you."
But
and
we don't wear LSU stuff.
But I mean, he's on here, and I didn't think that he would actually want to be on here. But the day I talked to him, he said, "Shoot, I'd love to be on there," and he really is. I know he's been at the major league level, but you'd never know it by the way that he acts. He just acts like the rest of us. He comes up there and plays golf with some of the wildest bunch you'd ever want to play golf with.
Uncle Bill, give yourself a little credit. You said he acts like the rest of us.
Whoa.
He does.
He's a human.
Yeah.
But I do have, I want him to explain to y'all, Alan, because didn't the scholarship limit, did it go from 25 to 32 on the baseball?
Yes. Yeah. I think that it's 34. I think they're going to have a 34 scholarship limit. Now, listen, that doesn't mean that every program in the country is going to fulfill that number. So we're still going to have the haves and the have-nots. But I do think, your power fives and power fours, I think the majority of them are going to be given that 34 scholar limit. And I think that is amazing. I wish we would have had it. We only had 11.7 for a 27-man roster that could be on scholarship.
Oh, wow.
So you do the numbers.
Explain that to him exactly how that did work.
Well, you had 11.7. And that 11.7 was divvied out between, there could be 27 players on scholarship. Well, I'm not very good in math, but 27 players, when you're dividing 11.57, that tells you how much each player may, that you can get. Now, you had to give at least 25% to a player. They had to get at least that. Now, one of the things that Alabama has been up against all these years was Alabama does not have the lottery system. So education, that's not being funded for kids that, maybe graduate high school, i.e. LSU. We were able to, we had the TOPS program where the kids, if they made a high enough ACT and a grade point average, they would get their tuition. So you see how that helped us to be able to fund our baseball program. It didn't help it tremendously compared to some places, but hey, maybe we were playing with 15 or 16 scholarships where Alabama was playing with a hard number of 11.7. So that's going away. 34 scholarships. You have a 34-man roster, and guys are getting paid with their scholarship for what they deserve. What they're earning, and it's a great thing. It's going to help families. It's going to help kids, and I think it's a wonderful thing. But it's not going to be throughout the entire collegiate scope.
And then thank you, and then explain to them you was in Baton Rouge, what went down Saturday night, the atmosphere in Baton Rouge.
Oh, you were there?
No, but he coached baseball there for 10 years.
Okay, so he
he can
can
tell us exactly how that atmosphere, because from my understanding, Alan is one of the power people.
Yeah.
Confronted Brian Kelly on the field after the game coming off.
Oh.
To inform him, you fixing to be out of here.
Yeah.
So explain to Alabama fans how the LSU, how that works at LSU with their fan base.
Well, first of all, it's a night game in Tiger Stadium is, it's crazy, man. I mean, they've had since 6 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night to get ready, and they're ready. Okay, they're partaking, and there's it's
Holy communion.
It's a wild atmosphere. But I didn't hear that about someone confront. That doesn't surprise me. I was flipping, watching the baseball game and watching the football game, and I watched the last part, and the stadium looked empty except for the crowd that was staying around yelling "Fire Kelly," and
oh wow,
it was just,
it's nice to be amongst friends.
Oh, listen, and he was walking off, and that was what I could hear that on TV.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising that he was out. I don't think and you talking about the number that has been thrown around, 9 coaches that have been let go at 169 million. I knew I should have went into coaching football.
Exactly.
Yes.
The best job you can have is being a fired
You could
football
have got fired from LSU and made $54 million.
Hey, they're doing okay, but as a coach, listen, I'm
They
sure
were.
Brian Kelly is, listen, because the money's unbelievable and all that, but listen, at heart, you're still a coach, and you failed in this particular time in your life, and I'm sure that the wounds and the feelings and even though it's 54 million, you're not looking at that money. I think because that's what's in you as a coach, and
that's right.
And
His
it
wife's
hurts.
looking
It
at the
hurts.
money.
The only thing that helps though is you've got 54 million tissues.
Yep. Hey, you are exactly right, and it'll help you get that condo on the beach, and then you can do something else if you want to. So.
Yeah, I gotta say, and I can't imagine having $54 million for getting fired. But when you coach, and Alan can talk about it, from a baseball perspective, but I coached high school football basically for free for almost a decade, and you don't do it for the money. There's something bigger inside of you that wants to be successful, and that's one thing about
like
coaches.
music.
Yeah, it could be. When you, I used to tell people, when I coached football, and I'd talk to my employees that would, work at my location, and they talk about the crazy thing that coaches or players do, and it's like, well, if you had all the money in the world and you had a camera following you around just waiting for you to mess things up, or you got publicly fired, or you got fired in public, how would you respond to that? So yeah, maybe they know what they're signing up for, but it's very
Yeah.
public. All your wins and losses are extremely public, so it's got to be tough. Amber, I know you said you had a question before Alan goes. What you got?
Brian Kelly sucks, by the way.
So I have a friend watching, and he texted me a question to ask you. Thank you, Brandon, for being a faithful viewer of the pod.
Just so you know,
He
Ellen,
said,
little backstory on that Brandon guy.
Dude,
They almost got
Josh. So how do you think that the former Tennessee baseball coach is going to do in the MLB?
That's a great question. Here's it's one of those things where I thought about that as it came down, and I'm going, okay, what are going to be the things that he is not going to be accustomed to in the college game that he's going to be thrown into the pro game? Well, first of all, you're looking at 162 games to 56. He's going to meet with the media 2 times a day, every day. Okay. So you combine that from spring training till if you go to the playoffs, let's just say you made it and you went to November. So you multiply those many days, the times with media, the things that are going to be that he has not had to do at this point. And listen, the media is a huge part of that job as a major league manager or a NFL coach or whoever is at that level. Has not been, and he's good with the media. I mean, you've seen his interviews in collegiate, so it's not that I don't think will be good. It's just going to be taxing on him to have to do that day in and day out, especially when you're on an 0-10 losing streak, because that's coming. Listen, at the major league level, you're gonna lose 10 games in a row. And it's now if you lost 10 games in a row in college, your season is virtually over. Okay. So learning how to manage that aspect of what it's going to take mentally to be able to not wear every game on your sleeve, because mentally you just can't mentally sustain that for 162 games. It's that old saying, hey, we'll get them tomorrow. And that's what you literally have to do at that level in professional baseball. Now, I think he's a very good, I think he's a good X and O's guy. I think he's a high energy guy. I think he'll relate with, the players well. The veteran players will be a little tricky, I think, when you got a guy that's been in the big leagues for 15 years and he's doing something a certain way that he's not changing. Okay. He's just not going to do it. How do you manage that? How do you manage, the relationship on that matter? So, I think it's going to be, those things will be something that, hey, you don't know it until you get in it, until you do it. And so it's going to be an interesting thing, but kudos to him. He's been highly successful to get this opportunity, and we'll see how it all plays out.
Have you heard any names for Tennessee, Alan?
I just heard that if you read the guy that was the assistant, who has been very well documented. He's turned some jobs down in the past. I think his name is Josh Elander. He's the recruiting coordinator. I would say he's probably at the top of the list. Just reading, I don't know anything, no more than anybody else, but you keep the camaraderie of that team. The pitching coach is the interim right now. So, and he has, head coaching experience at Oklahoma State for years. So you keep those two guys in the fold, you're probably going to keep your recruits intact. So it makes a lot of sense to go that direction, but who knows who gets involved and who actually ends up making the decision. But I would say he's got to be the front runner.
Very good.
If any of you ever want to step in the batter's box, face one of these guys that throws it about 95, go at it.
I think
I already have when I was younger, and he threw a changeup and almost broke my neck.
Yeah, Josh and I actually had a good friend that threw in 95 miles an hour, and he really should have went for basketball. Actually, he did after his baseball career, but he and I both tried out for the Lancaster Jethawks. He went forward, and I went nowhere.
Almost, man. Quincy, almost.
Lancaster
Quincy wasn't.
Jethawks. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It was a.
California. Well, with
It
a
was a
name
great.
like that, you can't expect much. What was the last name of the team?
It's a Jethawk. Dude, it was awesome. They had a real fighter jet out in front of the stadium. It was awesome.
Oh, nice.
I watched a lot of games there.
We had a great
Time that
time
was
there.
a hawk.
Gotta love
What does that have to do
California.
with a bird?
Yeah, birds don't fly. I agree. There's no connection there whatsoever, Austin Smash. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Really appreciate you being here, Alan. You're free to stick around if you like. If you got to go ahead and take off. But for now, that was Alan.
Yes,
sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Really enjoyed this. You guys are awesome, and thanks for doing this on having me on. And you've enlightened me, and I think I know more about sports than I know before I got on here. How about that?
Wow, look at that. We'll take it.
Hey,
You know
we'll
plenty
never
about
come back
stuff
to
you dared
Twin
not
Booties
know about.
again.
All right. Hey, you guys have a great rest of the show.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
All right.
All right,
Bye-bye.
ladies and gentlemen, that was none other than the man, the myth, and the legend, Alan Dunn. Thanks so much for being here, sir. It was great to have you. Well, that was really cool, guys, having Alan Dunn on and getting some time. Wild Bill, thank you very much for setting all that up.
Y'all asked
And,
good questions to him.
Well, what
Hey.
happened to the black screen behind us? I don't get it.
Oh my God.
What happened to our background?
We got those.
There we
Anyway,
go. Good Lord.
with a few minutes we have left, we're going to allow the world famous Dashes on the Board just a few minutes to educate us on what the coaching staff had to say during the bye week.
Okay, so
Well,
I'm
ladies
just
and
gonna
gentlemen,
tell y'all.
After 5 long years of doing this podcast, we finally got a little bit more professionalism. His name is Alan Dunn. No thanks to Josh Moran. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the third quarter. Amber and Austin Dash. Time for the Dashes on the Board. Get after it. You're ready.
So I was just gonna say, the only quote that I saw from the coach today, because I didn't watch it, sorry, was that this was a much needed bye week. He said
there
they have,
wasn't a press conference.
so he said that at some point over the weekend, maybe Friday, maybe Saturday after the game, maybe yesterday, somewhere he may have spoke, or today, I don't know, because they keep them busy at the UA. He said it was much needed, that they have had a intense last 5 weeks, as we know. So I think everybody was gonna really enjoy this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thinking
I
of
heard something.
Janger.
Hey, I heard, actually, I read somewhere, and you guys, you Dashes can correct me if you saw this, if I'm wrong, or just confirm. But I guess right before the game went in drive, Coach Grubb told Ty Simpson that he was made for moments like this.
See that.
Dude, I really believe that we're building towards something great. And very excited. I'm glad the team. I hate it. I hate bye weeks because we don't get to watch Bama play. But I'm with you, Amber, and obviously the coaching staff. These guys just need a minute to take a break. And then I wonder, we won't have a fourth quarter today. I'll just ask you this as a group: the firing of Brian Kelly. Do you think that LSU plays inspired football and that we should have cause for concern? Maybe whoever's going to step in as an interim, the team's going to play for them like a wild man.
Go ahead, Bill. Tell us.
Yeah, but because how are we going to prepare their tight ends coach is going to be the offensive coordinator? You know, is he going to stick with the system they've been running? Is he going to try some new stuff? I've always thought Garrett Nussmeier was overrated. I think everybody hyped him up just because of who his dad was and is. But I don't know. Yeah, they'll be ready to play.
Josh Pate was spilling the tea on Brian Kelly today because once he got fired, he said, well, now I can say it. Basically, Brian Kelly had been on cruise control and had given up on his job a long time ago. And the building was in disarray. It was like it was a horrible atmosphere for the players and the coaches. Mm-hmm. And it was crashing and burning behind the scenes. So they're going to be free from that loser. And they're going to come out and play free for each other. And we're the freaking next game.
Yeah. I would like to just ask you guys, which I guess I could have asked Alan this question. What is
we know freaking sports too, dude.
What? No, I just because he's been like a professional coach. What is going on with firing people now in the middle of the season?
It's been a long time coming for some of these.
It's not helping because like Arkansas just did it and they're still losing. It didn't help anything. And these colleges are paying money that some of them don't have.
Oh, they got money.
They got the money.
They have it, but they don't have it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, we're going to do this and put this high buyout on it. Why? Why are these people this crazy? Like, I just feel like there are some people that need to talk to Dave Ramsey. I'm not a Dave Ramsey fan, but like there are some people in college football decision-making that really need to talk to him.
I'm with you. I don't know in this era of the transfer portal, I don't know how that benefits your team. I mean, I guess what it could do is it could make things worse the longer that particular coach sticks around. And I mean, it might be a situation where it's like, if we don't do something that could cause damage to our credibility for the rest of the season. And then what are we going to tell these recruits about the coaching staff and our ability to make the hard decisions? So, but I don't know. I don't know because now there's going to be like a special portal, I guess, opened up, and you may have players sitting out. It's in disarray. But look, LSU, I don't know. I can't really tell you, but I would say that maybe the SEC is not the right fit for Brian Kelly. I thought it was an odd hire. He had success, if you will, when he got there. But now Florida and Penn State. So I don't know what the benefit is. I think it's something I think it's actually a great question to kind of think through, and try to get some opinions on why that makes sense.
You would think they would just leave them through the end of the season because then at least the buyout's lower, right? If they get through the season, or is it the same? Oh.
I think the buyout's going to be the same. But when I think about it, when you have an employee that's working for you and you can tell that they are not holding up their end of the bargain and things are just not working, you need to dispatch of them as quickly as possible, because that attitude can become cancerous, for lack of better terminology, in your program. And based on what Josh said and what Josh Pate is telling everybody, that may be the case. I don't know Brian Kelly. I don't know his coaching style. I mean, at Notre Dame, you would think he had.
Well, he
excuses for-
doesn't. So there's that.
Well,
As soon as I saw him dancing with that recruit,
Listen,
I knew he was.
Every time something went wrong, he looked at the assistant and was like, "What are we doing? What's going on? Why is
Yeah,
this
he
happening?"
did that for
Like,
optics.
well, you're the head coach. You should know. So there
Did
you
it
go.
just because he knew the cameras were on him, so he could blame somebody.
well, and that's what I was starting to say there is I think in Notre Dame you can have some kind of cover because you have to recruit this some of the smartest athletes in the country, so it could be a bit more of a challenge. But that guy's doing great
because they cover up all them priest molestations in the Catholic Church.
Here's something I saw on X just now that really makes sense to me. So the LSU athletic director Scott Woodward hired Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M and Brian Kelly at LSU. Both were fired, and the schools combined have to pay out $130 million in buyouts, and he still has a job.
As soon as they get another coaching job, that buyout goes down, though.
They're asking why some of these ADs aren't held responsible for their poor decision making also, which I mean, it makes sense. Like, you think you're hiring like the best coach ever, and then you get them there and they suck.
If you get a good vibe from Brian Kelly, you should be fired because he's a weed.
Well,
Hey, I'm an AD and I'm held responsible for my poor decisions. So it's not all of us.
Look,
moving on.
The AD recommends the name the president and the board.
No, he's already left.
The hire. So what about those that approve for the hire? You're just going on the recommendation of the athletic director.
I say they bring back Coach O, baby. Let's go. Second time.
But the players were on the field Saturday night. They embarrassed themselves with their.
They got a really horrible environment going on. I would imagine it's hard to prepare. And keep
started last year with that 42-6 loss.
Just wait and see how different they look when they play us.
I'm telling you, I told him the other day, everybody shows up. I said, South Carolina is not a good team, and they showed up against us. But it was also the voodoo of their stadium. They have some kind of voodoo there like Auburn does at Jordan Air. And LSU is going to show up because they've been –
they play that stupid chicken every 30 seconds going,
y'all.
I think that's where we got to cut it. I think we got to cut it at the
every time the chicken went off in the stadium.
I was like, that stupid chicken.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
We beat the Cocks real good.
Okay.
Yes, Josh, I can make so many jokes about that, but thank you.
Clip that, and that's just going to be our ringtone for you, Josh.
Hang on. No, hang on. If you want a real one to say.
No.
I watched Alabama beat the Cocks.
Okay. And that is.
Well, this was almost family friendly.
My score, my prediction was 40-15.
That's what I said. 40 to 50. I did not say 45. I said my score was 45 or 42.
So you're 45.
We're all wrong.
Both of y'all are out. Me and Amber was 34-17. The score was 29-22. So we are 5 plus 5. We're 10 away. Well, Austin, what was your score?
Too much. It was stupid. Okay,
What was
I don't want to talk about it. I don't know. It was like,
you know what? I'm going to do my score here.
What was Austin's score?
Like 42-14 or something stupid.
Okay, well, me and
Amber 48-14.
Me and Amber tied for the win. It's over.
So that means I get a half a point and Josh gets a half a point.
No, we ain't doing
Hold on.
Yes,
hold on.
because it could come down to like 2.5 to 3.5. And the 2.5 and 2, and then the 2.5 person would win.
Quincy trying to make something more difficult than it is. This ain't rocket science.
And where that doesn't make any
Quincy
sense.
trying to make something more difficult than it is. Not rocket science, even though the winners are the same as when the way Quincy did it. So he don't know what he's talking about, even though the same people won. My name's Josh Moran, and I beat Cox.
That's just happenstance.
Well, me and Austin,
Yeah, right. It's
Austin,
happenstance.
We know we didn't win.
I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong with
Well,
our
look.
traffic today.
The three bald guys did not win.
Here's the thing is that when I go back and look, if the same winner is there every single time, I will kick Josh in the balls.
I'm pretty sure it's still going to be the same.
It doesn't matter what it is.
I'm
Amber,
pretty sure it doesn't
Amber,
matter
everybody
what
else
we're
wins.
with this anyway.
Okay, but what are we doing with the fact that Josh and I both had the same score and both lose?
You both get a point.
Okay.
Oh, that's stupid.
What do you mean, Austin? It's not gambling. If two people gamble and they both have the same numbers, they both win. They split the pot.
Yeah. Well,
none of us need to be.
Oh no, that was an accident.
None of us need to be split no pot.
Somebody fix that.
My neighbors love their pot.
No. If I read the chat right, Austin needs a drink and Amber needs pot. That's what I saw.
I need some pot.
At least during that game.
Quincy, let's practice one more time. Oh no, I messed it up. Somebody fix it.
I've been the one fixing it all night. You're welcome.
Josh, are you talking about your life or the podcast?
Amber, practice.
I fixed it too.
That's tough.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to speak for everybody when I say roll tide, good night.
One message for you from your aunt. She will bust both of you in the head. Can y'all hear me?
Not rocket science, you know.
I think you, like me, have a face for radio.
Can y'all hear me?
We gonna play with the players we got. Next man up.
That's why it sucks.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
This kind of unprofessionalism does not need to be tolerated. I mean it. Like,
can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
what the hell is going on here? Just all hang up.
Another episode of the BS Podcast.
Hang on.
Moran.
Hang on. There's all kinds of noise in my ear now.
Oh, jeez.
We need a little bit more professionalism.